this year's Apprentice. Nobody told me it was on a Sunday. I only saw the last 10 minutes, but before we discuss it, I must play this.
Who is doing the mincing?
It is a very definite spoiler alert, because we're about to hear who won the Apprentice.
We're both very passionate about wanting this job. Over the course of the last 12 weeks, what I've seen from you, Stella, is that clearly you are a great organiser of people. You do know how to handle your teams. You handled that boys' team tremendously in the second week. Well liked, and I think determined to get on with whatever you're asked to do. Chris, you're young, but that could be a good thing. It could be that I have a green shoe. You've shown throughout the course of this 12 weeks some great entrepreneurial ideas. Some of them a bit wacky, and some of them quite good. One of you is going to be very disappointed. It's a tough decision, and the decision that I've come to is that, Stella, you're hired.
Well, there we are. It's a bit like the X Factor, isn't it? It gets a bit duller as it gets to the people who are deadly good. You know, you sort of want the idiots in the bags of this world in their first few rounds. Anyway, Stella English won the 100 grand job with Lord Alan Sugar. We've been following the show for weeks, as you know, on this programme. So did the most deserving candidate win. With me all the way, in one form or another, TV critic Toby Earle. Hello, Toby.
Evening there, Tony.
Former Apprentice winner and director of Raw Talent Academy, Lee McQueen. Hello again, Lee.
Evening, Tony. Toby.
And Phil,
hello, Lee.
And Phil Taylor's back as well, contestant in last year's Apprentice. Hello, Phil.
Hi there. Can I just say I'm director of bodyrocker.com as well?
Of course you can, yes. Anybody know what a lunar eclipse is before we go on as well?
I think that was Chris from The Apprentice that phone, wasn't it?
Might have been, yeah. Now listen, Toby, did the best person win?
Well, I think the moment she came up with the idea of urban for the modern take on bourbon, I just sat there and just thought, yeah, that's it, and she's won. I just think they've missed a tremendous trick though, Tony, right? If they got Dan back, Dan, the guy went the first week, you know, we used the spoiler alert for who asking is who is doing the mincing.
Yes.
If they had him on Chris's team and had him shouting, who is doing the mixing, when they were directing that terrible cocktail advert, they might have got somewhere.
Yeah, now, just to recap, they were asked to make a drink, essentially, wasn't it? Design the bottle, design the brand, and design the image. An alcoholic drink, yeah. So Stella came up with Urban, which did look like a horrible drink. It turned out to be a horrible drinking, like a balsamic vinegar bottle. Lee, were you impressed with what she came up with?
I said, yeah. I mean, the bottle design is secondary, really. I think what she did was innovative in the sense that she tried to get the bourbon market to females, and not only just to females, but it's a market that's totally male dominated, and she recognised that and tried to put it out to both males and females. I think she's done that really well.
And Phil, Chris came up with a pointy bottle called Prism, full of pink liquid in it, and it was the pink alcohol, wasn't it, at that point, that stitched him up. Do you think Liz, who designed it, definitely stitched him up?
I'm not going to say she stitched him up, if I'm honest with you. I think the bottle itself was actually quite eye-catching. I think, sat on the shelf in a bar, that was quite appealing. The liquid itself didn't look great, and I think it did detract from the bottle design. But I think Chris did a good job, and he just missed out. But no, I don't think she stitched him up. I think she was on the same team.
All right, now let's get to the nitty-gritty of all this. Toby Earle.
Yeah.
Was it as good as ever? Is it losing any of its vim, this programme?
Are you joking? This has been a cracking series. This has been absolutely brilliant. I think. Of course, we've had a monstrous Burke like Stuart Bagton to really liven it up, of course. But we've had
The brand.
Sorry, say again.
The brand.
Sorry, you're right, Lee. Sorry, the brand bags. That's right. He's not even a fish. He's not even a fish.
Yeah. That was a classic moment. Yeah.
If I was in business, I don't think I want to be a fish. I'd want to be a human being trying to conduct myself in a human environment. But I think it's been an absolutely brilliant series. And I think the last couple of the bus tour task was an absolute classic, an all-time classic in the entire show's run. And I think it really actually found its feet again this year. I think it really delivered.
Yeah, Phil, Stuart Baggs, that's only on the show with Dara Breen afterwards. He looked very sheepish. Now, he put himself out on a limb, didn't he, during The Apprentice, and made various statements. Do you think next season somebody else may be a bit more reluctant to put themselves on such a pedestal?
I don't think so. I think anybody given the opportunity and a camera pointed in the face, you're always going to find somebody that wants to perform. And I think in the instance with the brand, I thought he was fantastic entertainment. I was really disappointed to see that he wasn't actually brought back for the final. But can you imagine being on his team in the end? He might have ruined it for somebody. So I think they were looking at it. He would have sabotaged it.
As ever with these kind of reality programmes, it used to be the same with Big Brother. I'm now dreading seeing half of these people pop up. I mean, Lee McQueen, are we likely to see Stuart Baggs on Hole in the Wall shortly? That sort of thing.
I would say it's an absolute certainty, to be honest, Tony. I think that look, I mean, I think Stuart's done well, as I say. Like Phil, I enjoyed watching him as well, and like Toby said, it's been fantastic entertainment. I think some of them will pop up on various different things, but what you can take away is, Lord Sugar always gets good people to go and work for me at the end of the day. If I don't mind saying myself, if you know what I mean. But I don't mean it like that. But what he's got with Stella and with Chris as well was two good people. And I think you played the clip. He had a youngster to choose from, and he had somebody who's got 6-7 years more experience than Chris, and I think that Chris just missed out because of what Lord Sugar wants to hire.
At the end, though, again in that show with Dara O'Brien, you can tell which bit of the programme I saw, didn't you? I missed it. I just saw the last 10 minutes, then saw the after show. But Lord Sugar practically offered Chris a job, didn't he? To come and knock on my door.
But it's interesting.
Is he allowed to do that?
Well,
number two?
It's interesting because in Phil's series, he's actually done the same thing with Kate and Yasmina as well, and said that it was a very tough decision to choose between Yasmina and Kate, and he's done the same this year as well. So he's Lord Sugar, he can do what he likes, can't he?
He didn't even give me his card. He might have been frightened I turned up my pants to work with. That might have been the problem.
He told you his business was based in Norwich, didn't he? Listen, Phil, I appreciate you coming in tonight. Thank you very much indeed, Phil Taylor. Lee McQueen, thanks for being with us, guys.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, you all.
Merry Christmas.
And Toby Earle as well. And I'm sure, I'm back next year, and the Apprentice is back, so we'll all be back. So that's exciting. We'll follow the next series with pleasure. Thanks very much, guys. Now let's talk Christmas again. This year's traditional Christmas dinner.